I'm going to start off with another story that I've been following ever since it started. So there's a guy out there, who lost his life by the name of Cutty Banks. Now, Cutty Banks was a San Jose rapper who ended up getting killed, and the shooter ended up getting caught, man. Like, he was arrested in Oklahoma, and it was a crazy story, man. So the story of Cutty Banks, man, in order for me to bring this into full detail, I really got to show you this news clip. So now this is a crazy story. So y'all just sit back,
and killed
watch
an innocent man. They thought he was responsible for a deadly road rage incident that shut down the 405 freeway for an entire night. But tonight, police say they were actually wrong, and now they are in jail. The road rage shooting was big news tonight. It happened on the 405 in Seal Beach. The freeway was closed for hours. Well, tonight, police say 2 people are under arrest after they became vigilantes and committed murder. KCAL 9's Stacey Butler has our wild story.
The twisted whodunit started with a deadly car-to-car shooting on the 405 freeway in Seal Beach last August.
Now, peep this. So there was a shooting on Seal Beach in Southern California, I believe. And two people were firing back and forth. One of the guys lost his life. He was actually in the car with his girlfriend, right?
The freeway closed for hours. Traffic backed up for miles. 27-year-old Luis Rapena killed. Police say his girlfriend, Amanda Young, and Rapena's brother, Isaiah, became frustrated. The investigation went on for months without an arrest.
Now, to add some context, it had been a while, and they had no leads on who shot his brother, right? So the guy you saw with the young lady there, he was in the car, and he was part of the shooting that took place on the highway. He ended up losing his life. His brother and his girlfriend are now in jail because they took to the streets in retaliation for him losing his life. So, man, let's continue.
Police say they started their own amateur investigation and convinced themselves Melota Lassi, a Bay Area rapper known as Cutty Banks, killed Rapena in an active road rage.
And killed an...
Now, that's where it left off, right? So I might play that one more time. But just so you guys get some context, right? So there's a shooting. And one of the guys loses his life, right? And Cutty Banks ends up being the person that they think, through their own street investigation, was responsible for killing the guy named Rapena, right? Now, this guy, or the guy that was on the left, was Rapena's brother. And the girl that was arrested was his girlfriend, right? The guy Rapena. Now, what's wild is his brother, I think, was in the military or something like that. But they took justice to their own hands, and they tracked down Cutty Banks while he was going to a bank. He was actually going to a bank, no pun intended. And outside of the bank, and this is what made the story so crazy, because who would shoot somebody outside of a bank? Knowing that, a bank has cameras everywhere. They got cameras looking at the cameras. They got cameras down the block to prevent of a bank robbery, obviously, right? So it was weird that some guy in a black hoodie was seen shooting and killing Cutty Banks live on camera. The even crazier part about this is he was in a white Mercedes-Benz SUV. Dude was in a Mercedes SUV and shot Cutty Banks. So that was another thing that had even law enforcement tripping out, like, who in the world would commit a shooting in a white Mercedes-Benz SUV knowing that that's not a low-key car? There's only so many of those. That's a luxury car. People can find that car. You know what I'm saying? It's not like somebody in one of these like imports that all look alike. Say like a Camry, a Honda Civic, or something like that, right? This car can stand out. But still, they had no leads. But eventually, they found him, man, because of the car. And when they found him, they found out it was the brother in this plan that they hatched in order to kill Cutty Banks because they thought he was responsible. Now, there is no evidence that came out to prove that Cutty Banks in any way, shape, or form was responsible for the guy Rapena losing his life or had been responsible in that shooting. They don't even know to this day how they came up with the conclusion that Cutty Banks was the shooter that killed Rapena. But regardless of that, Rapena's brother and the girlfriend who was there at the time of the shooting let's be real. She was the one who actually put the plan in motion and got Cutty Banks killed, man. So what's crazy is they're back in court today, right? Or this week. They went to court this week, and they're finally going to see trial. Now, as they were locked up, their booking information, it basically showed that, they were locked up for a capital murder. And the girlfriend, she's actually getting the major charge because she allegedly put the whole plan in motion. And for some reason, she thought it was Cutty Banks, who's a well-known rapper up there, man. He's got a couple of songs on Thizzler and stuff like that with like millions of views. But it's, man, it was a mistaken identity. That's the best way to put it, which is crazy when you think about this, bruh. Dude lost his life because they thought he was somebody he wasn't. Now, it happens a lot every day, but in the fashion and the way that it happened is just crazy, man. Crazy, man. This guy right here, this is the alleged killer, right? The person who walked up in the black hoodie and shot and killed Cutty Banks right outside of the Wells Fargo bank, which is crazy. Now, Rapena, he's the guy right here, but Young, that's the girlfriend. They're charged in the killing, and a 4-day preliminary hearing ended Monday with a San Mateo County Superior Court judge ordering them to stand trial for the murder and other charges, prosecutors said. So they both remain in custody with no bail status and are set to be in court on January 18th. So they caught them, arrested them, and they're both going to finally see justice, or at least have their day in court for the murder of this guy right here, Cutty Banks, the rapper, man. Crazy, man. And dude seemed like a hustler, had his own t-shirt shop, things like that. At the time when this happened, a lot was going on in hip-hop. You just had the King Von situation happen. You just had a lot of different murders happening. Like, for some reason, 2020, the year 2020, from June or July time, all the way up until present day, it's been all these rapper murders, man, which is crazy, man, crazy. But it looks like they're gonna have their day in court, man. We'll tell you. I'll be here to tell you if they're innocent or found guilty, man. Crazy situation. Cutty Banks lost his life over somebody tripping and not even knowing that they had the wrong dude, man.
Bruh.
Now, hopefully you enjoyed that story, but do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I do one of these updates, and we out of here. Peace.